Hello everyone, welcome back to Anmoll Astrology channel. Now today's video is about the remaining examples of Tribhagi analysis. Okay, so let's quickly dive into this. So I'm going to share my screen. Okay, so today we are going to do Rahu Tribhagi, Venus Tribhagi and Ketu Tribhagi. Okay, so Rahu typically, people assume that Rahu is a mahadasha where it has to do so many things, so many adverse effects it gives to a person. But actually, Rahu can be very, very fruitful, even better than Jupiter mahadasha, right? I think you must have heard from many astrologers who actually believe in practical astrology, right? That Rahu is the Bhoga Karka, it's the giver. And it actually makes you, you know, be updated in your life. So a Rahu person or a Mercury person would be able to, you know, try lot more things in life. They with a open heart and open arms, they are very welcoming towards any opportunity that they can get in their life, especially if it's about earning money. Okay, so that's why Rahu Mahadasha, what happens in Rahu Mahadasha, a person can actually become it is, of course, illusion. It is full of illusion. It is full of fears also, because Rahu is about fear. And I must have mentioned that in Rahu Mahadasha video, but you need to know that Rahu basically for the first 7 months, it actually gives adverse effects for first 7 to 9 months when it gets activated. So regardless of wherever your Rahu is placed, it is going to confuse you. It is going to disturb your sleep. It is going to make your head work really, really fast and really, really like all the time. You will be thinking that I am thinking something or the other. You'll feel restless. Your mind will feel restless. That's because Rahu is just the head. It's not the body. Ketu is the body, right? So Rahu is about all the mechanism that you can see happening in on the face. It's the head, it's the talking, it's the, your senses gets really, really strong. Okay, so Rahu is about actually this, what I am doing right now. That's also a part of Rahu. So being connected to social media, earning money through online mediums with smart work rather than hard work, that is what Rahu is about. So eventually you'll see whenever Rahu comes in, these things are going to get activated. But yes, for the initial 7 to 9 months, it is going to give you a lot many problems also. You will attract people who will betray you, or it is just, one more thing I have seen with Rahu is it is more than what you will feel in Jupiter or Saturn. That Rahu also shows you the real faces. It also shows you the practicality of life. It shows you why Rahu makes a person very clever, very intelligent, and very mischievous. There's a catalyst. There are certain situations, there are problems within Rahu that a person face for the first initial months, through which a person grows into a mischievous, a clever, a very intelligent individual. So Rahu will bring in all these changes. Then you need to see wherever Rahu is. So for this person, Rahu is actually in an earth sign, but it is in the moksha houses. So definitely for this individual, this person will face problems within their home environment. And also along with that, they will also have problems at, with where they are living. So most probably this person is going to shift from their homeland to a very distant land, or to long distance. Now the promise you need to see from the chart itself. So there is Rahu, there is Mars, there is disturbance within the fourth house. Fourth house is your homeland, your peace of your home. So this person do not have a very peaceful environment at the home also, because their second lord is also in the seventh house, and that's an Uttarashar. Not the best placement for a very peaceful environment. And they have not had the best childhood also, because the fourth lord is going into the eighth house. It's conjunct, it's actually hemmed. It is a very soft planet, Mercury, which is hemmed between Venus, Jupiter, and Sun. So we see that there is a promise of this person going away from their homeland, and they will actually feel a lot more peaceful once they do. And since they have moon in the seventh house, that again initiates a distance travel. Right? So Rahu will actually, first of all, initiate problems within the home environment, within their personal space, because fourth house is also about one's heart space. How much comfortable you feel, how much happier you are in life. That is the fourth house. Okay. Then this initiates travel. Apart from this, for Rahu, you always need to see that which planet it activates. So for Rahu, Rahu is actually activating Mercury. It is going to behave like Mercury and somewhat like Mars also. Why Mercury? Because it is in the sign of Mercury. Why Mars? Because it is conjunct Mars. So Mars is trying to make it follow his rules. Okay, so you can see that this person will be quite analytical, quite, calculative, and this person will become very much ambitious. They would want to go away from their home so as to achieve heights in their career and so as to achieve good financial strength. Although, because I see that this person has been struggling, financially in their life. And this person is also, this person struggles with their personality, with their self-esteem, with their presentation. This person is a very shy individual, very introvert. They have problem connecting with people, with a lot of people. So that's why this person in their Rahu Mahadasha, although this person would again want to be in isolation, want to be in their own, little cocoon, but this person will try to be more active career wise, because their focus is going to be towards building a good lifestyle. Okay, so now about Rahu Tribhagi. So Rahu actually comes in for 18 years. So for Rahu, all the air signs get activated, and each one of them gets activated for 6 years. So what will happen? This person actually started with the Rahu Mahadasha back in 2018. So 2018 plus 6, that means 2024. So till this year, October, this person was in the first Tribhagi, and that first Tribhagi is for them the sign of Aquarius. So this person would have been introvert, but this person, over these 6 years, this person has developed the confidence to represent themselves. This person has started earning in this period only because from the Tribhagi, the first lord goes into the second house, and that's Saturn and Ketu. This person might have saved also, or at least tried to save by, being very miser about the expenditure and money matters. But this person has provided their family also with whatever they have earned in that particular time. But yes, if with Rahu Mahadasha, whenever the Tribhagi of Aquarius comes in, it is actually a very good Tribhagi in case of career. And I also have seen that it is good in terms of relationships also, because you encounter people who are extremely bossy, who are extremely attention seekers, creative, dramatic, sassy kind of people because of Leo in the seventh. But yes, you find someone who makes you get yourself out of that cocoon. Okay. So, because, Leo is a very imposing sign, Leo is a very independent sign. And Aquarius, since it is ruled by Saturn, these are very introverts. So, they need a Leo like person to get them out of their introvert behavior. Okay, so this must have happened with this person has been very ambitious in these 6 years. They just wanted to have a good career. They have worked hard. They have faced a lot of obstacles also because of the cluster in the 12th house. The obstacles were subconsciously, the obstacles were overseas, if they have traveled overseas for education or work, which I think they have done it, because the ninth lord from the Tribhagi also goes into the 12th house, and that's conjunct Jupiter's sun. So there would have been a travel overseas. And then they have moon in the 11th from the Tribhagi. Now, since Rahu is getting activated, Rahu goes in the moksha houses from the Tribhagis. So, it's like this person emotionally, they will feel good, rather they will feel very practical, because their moon is going to go into, in the first Tribhagi it is in the 11th house, in the second Tribhagi it is going to be in the 7th house, and in the last Tribhagi it is going to be in the 3rd house. So that's why they are going to feel a lot, I won't say stable, but a lot on the go, because of the air signs. Air signs are like all over the place. Air signs are like people who, who are very innovative, who do multiple things at a time, right? So this particular individual emotionally, it's still better in Rahu Mahadasha, but circumstantially it can bring in sudden changes for this individual, sudden good and sudden bad also. So it can be anyhow. Okay. So Rahu comes eighth for this person from the first Tribhagi for first 6 years. So there would have been sudden events, sudden ups and downs. It could be in the health, it could be otherwise. Like all of a sudden, things happen. It would be good also. Okay, then Rahu acts, since it is in the nakshatra of Uttar Falguni, it is going to activate Sun. Sun is in Dhanishta, in the sign of Capricorn. Not the best 6 years for this individual, personally, emotionally. But yes, otherwise, this person would have, I think this person has just dived him or herself into work for these 6 years so as to achieve something. They have sacrificed themselves, they have sacrificed other things in their lives so as to reach somewhere, reach and complete their goals in life. There would have been a loss of relationship also, or loss of a partner also, love encounter also, because the fifth lord, the seventh lord, both of them are going into the 12th house. Okay, so not the easiest 6 years, I would say. Okay, then starting from this year till next 6 years, that would be till 2030 October, this person is going to have the next Tribhagi, which is their own ascendant. Their mind is going to be too much towards partnerships. Again, disturbance within home. They will feel very, upset and very, what do we call it? We call it in Hindi like becheni hona. Whenever Rahu comes in the fourth house, it's like Rahu has come in the domain of Cancer. Now it wants to act like Cancer. It wants to act like Moon. It wants to nurture everything. It wants to nurture everyone. But they are very sensitive of their own emotions. They are very sensitive of everything that happens, and they can act very selfish also at this point. So this person is going to transform himself, him or herself, about how they connect in a home environment, or how they connect emotionally from the inwards, because it is the fourth house, the house of your heart. Okay. So that's why now with this person is going to activate the fourth house because of Rahu placement. Then Sun, the houses of Sun are also going to get activated. The third house, the eighth house. So 3, 4, and 8. This person can also shift their residence in this Tribhagi. There's shift of residence, there's a lot of disturbance around the home. There could also be some issues around inheritance or insurance money, receiving of insurance money, or some disputes with, legal disputes with the insurance money, or hidden assets, or something of that sort, right? Along with that, you can see that within this particular chart, this person's career would make them work a lot. There would be a lot of hard work which would be required there. They would face a lot of criticism. Also, they would feel shy again, so as to be there in their career, so as to represent their work. Again, the shyness part or the introvert part would come around. Okay. And the relationships, although this person's mind is going to be very much towards relationships, but their partner would be very much involved into the family matters, since the seventh lord goes into the eighth house, and it is debilitated. So the partner's concerns would be towards the income, finances, and that's why there could be problems within the relationship of this individual. Although there would be a very mature relationship between this partner and their this person and their partner. That's because there's moon in the seventh, that too in the sign of Sagittarius. They would guide each other towards the betterment of each other. Okay, so that will happen for the next 6 years. It is like till 2030 October. And after this, it is going to be the last ascendant, the last Tribhagi, 30 onwards, 2030 onwards till 2035 October. It is going to be the sign of Libra. Okay. So since Libra will come in, now see a lot of cluster in the fourth house. Again, disturbance. I do see that with this Rahu Mahadasha, this person's career would still be good. Finances would be up and down, but this person's emotional state would not be the best. See, there's one difference between emotional state and the analysis for moon for this individual for their Tribhagi. Since their moon is in the air signs, their mind could be unstable with the decisions, but they will gain the intelligence so as to take particular decisions in life. But when we talk about emotional stability and the well-being of one's emotional state, that is not going to be the best, because the moksha houses are going to be highly activated when the Rahu Mahadasha will go on. That we can see from the normal analysis of the Rahu Mahadasha, and also through the Tribhagis we can see that. But for these last 6 years, last Rahu Mahadasha 6 years, this person is suddenly going to become a very, very sensitive individual. For them, their relationships are going to be of the utmost priority. And of course, they would also want to have good business. They would work towards a better business, and that too, I think, would is going to be become comfortable throughout. Okay. But yes, this fourth house bothers me because of the cluster of planets there. That means that this person has to get involved into the home matters, and there's again disturbance within the mental peace of this individual and their home space. Okay, so this is actually Rahu's Tribhagi, how it is going to work for this individual. Now, one more thing you are going to add with this Tribhagi is that for the first 6 years, for the first Tribhagi of Rahu, you will also study from the Aquarius ascendant. You are going to also study Rahu, what it is going to activate, right? It is going to activate because of Sun, it activates seventh, eighth, and 12th houses. Then when Rahu Jupiter will become active, then 8th and 12th houses are highly activated. Jupiter is in Uttarashar and it rules the 11th house and the second house. So this person can have a lot of expenditure in Rahu Jupiter. I'm just giving a brief example of how you're going to connect the Antardashas with Tribhagi also. So the second lord goes into the 12th house and it is going to get activated in Uttarashar. So this person will have expenditure on things which is going to be more status oriented. Maybe they buy a very luxurious phone, maybe they buy a property, maybe they want to buy purchase a convenience, a car of something of luxury because it's Uttara Ashar. And also there's going to be expenditure on education because Uttara Ashar means education. It is. There's going to be expenditure for career as well. Since it is Uttarashad, it is the sign of Capricorn. But yes, it does show that this person's money, they are going to try to save, but their money is going to go away also in the expenditures. But expenditures are going to be on the necessities and on the things that a person normally needs in life. Okay. Then we talk about, if we talk about Rahu Saturn, so till 2024 October, Rahu Saturn with first Tribhagi of Aquarius is going to get activated. Saturn comes into the 12th, into the second house, sorry. That means this person's second house gets activated, money, income is going to be there, rather better than the previous one. But also this person would require to provide their family with that particular money they are earning. Okay, and then the next Tribhagi, in the next, the remaining Tribhagi from 2024 October till October of 2026, for these 2 years, it is still the Rahu and Saturn, but the Tribhagi changes. So from here, you are going to judge it differently. So Rahu comes into the fourth house and Saturn comes into the 10th house. So now the area of what Rahu Saturn was doing is going to shift from that particular Tribhagi to this particular Tribhagi. Okay. So that's all. So that's how you are going to judge. First of all, a Tribhagi, then Antardashas through Tribhagi. Now let's dive into Venus Tribhagi. Now Venus comes in for 20 years. Okay, yeah, Venus comes in for 20 years and all the fire signs gets activated. It comes, each Tribhagi is for 6 years and 8 months. Okay. So in Venus, what happens is a person becomes fierce. A person becomes a very on the go. They want to be in relationships. So I'm not saying it Venus represents infidelity, but if a person with Venus Mahadasha is in a relationship and they are happy, they are going to put 100% into that relationship and they are going to be devoted, totally 100% devoted. But as soon as that relationship goes away, they are going to look for another relationship. They are going to look for another person to depend on. That's actually the trait of Venus. They want to be in love. They want to feel loved. They want to feel that they have a union, they have someone to lean on. Okay, so that's about Venus. Venus does gives a person luxury, it gives pleasurable experience because a person is going towards it. A person is going, a person is trying to thrive towards it. So Venus also gives softness to an individual because it's actually a water tattva. Venus is actually more emotional than Moon. Moon still has that little bit of stable ground with it. But Venus becomes more emotional when it's about, my love, my satisfaction. Because Moon can still sacrifice himself a little bit for the other person. But Venus, it has that Asura element also within it. So it can be too sensitive. And you won't believe, but Venus is one of the planets which gets offended really, really easy. Suppose if there's a person with Venus in the ascendant, you will see you are not giving attention to that individual. You're preferring, maybe in a slightest conversation, in the very minute conversation, you are actually preferring someone else over them. They are not going to talk to you. They are going to act like, oh, who are you? Don't talk to me now. They can act very rude at that point. Okay, so that's what Venus is. Now what happens, that Venus, when it becomes activated in the Vimshotri Mahadasha, what will happen for this individual? The eighth house will come into play. Okay, Venus rules and the 11th house for this individual, and that comes into the eighth. Again, this person has been very introvert, especially in their childhood. Not the best childhood that we can say, because this person has had found it very, very difficult to speak in front of anyone, in front of especially their family, with their emotions. They have not been expressive. That's because the fourth lord goes into the eighth, and that is in Satabashak. They have suppressed their emotions. They have suppressed their feelings, their heart, their heart space. And that's why when Venus will come around, this particular theme will play out. This person can have secretive encounters and secretive relationships as well in Venus Mahadasha. Those encounters can be sexual in nature. Since it is conjunct Saturn, it can be cold and emotionless also. So more so, it can be at some moments, it can be just for the sake of sexual experiences or pleasures. Okay. And then Venus is in Satabashak. It activates the placement of Rahu as well, which is the third house. So it activates the third, the fourth, the eighth, and the 11th. Since 311, they could receive job, or they could start doing a job in this Venus, in the Venus Mahadasha. And then because of Rahu in the third, they'll develop excellent marketing skills, and they will search for different options so as in their work, so as to earn from, so as to market themselves, market their work from. Then 411, they are going to buy a home or vehicle in their Venus Mahadasha. They are going to gain from inheritance properties in their Venus Mahadasha. They are going to shift their residence in Venus Mahadasha as well. Okay. So for this person, the very first Tribhagi is going to be the sign of Sagittarius. Why? Because it is next to their moon. So next to the moon, which is a fire sign, which is Sagittarius, that is going to be the first Tribhagi. So this person, during the first Tribhagi of Venus for first 6 years and 8 months, which actually has passed for this individual, they have been very philosophical ever since from 2015 till I guess 2021. And that too, it's actually 2022, January. This person has been very research oriented. They have had relationships, but those relationships would have been a little distant. Distant as in that would have been long distance relationships, or relationships through social media only. Their focus has been on finances and on expenditure. This person has learned a lot, gathered a lot of knowledge, done research work in their Venus mahadasha, because Venus from this Tribhagi comes into the third house with Saturn. This person, in their first Tribhagi, it actually made them work a lot harder, and also, work harder with themselves, with their body. Okay, so they have, roamed from one place to another so as to work. Maybe they have, gone overseas and they are on their own working and something like that. But this must have been difficult, even though if this person has not traveled, this person did work really hard for their career, because Rahu is 10th from this particular Tribhagi. And there's a lot of concentration in the second. This person has developed excellent communication skills, philosophical skills, advising skills, consultancy skills during the first Tribhagi of Venus. They would have also developed a sense of reducing their weight at that point, because they would have gained weight. They would have had fluctuations with their weight and their physical appearance during that time. There could have been ENT issues also at that moment, but during those years, first 6 years and 8 months. Okay, so during that, you need to study when Venus comes in, then Venus Sun comes in, then Venus Moon, then Venus Mars, and then Venus Rahu. Okay, so Venus Rahu actually started after it. So it is the part of second Tribhagi. So that's how you need to study the first Tribhagi. Everything related to this chart, just assume that this is the D1 of this individual. Then the second one. The second one is going to be Aries. This person is going to become more active in the second Tribhagi, which actually started from 2022, January almost, and it is going to be there till, 6 years, 2028. And you can go plus January, so it's 2028 September almost, right? So they are going to act more like a Aries personality, very active, very spontaneous, very impulsive, very much thriving towards career. So that is actually the best time. Like right now, it is the best time for this individual when it's about their career. They are actually going to achieve good heights with their career in the coming time. It started in 2022 January, and it is going to be there till their Venus Saturn, not mid, I would say, but till 2028 September. So Venus Saturn is going to be activated there for good 7 months. Okay, so Venus Saturn both come 11th from the Tribhagi ascendant. So there is gain and recognition, fulfillment of your desires, right? Venus, Jupiter, that would have been about higher knowledge, gaining a higher knowledge, gaining wisdom, gaining knowledge through mythology as well, through research work as well. Okay, and since Venus is in Satabashak, Venus also activates, Venus here activates 2nd, 7th, and 11th. I also see there could have been marriage for this individual in the second Tribhagi. Second Tribhagi also activates marriage. And then it's, Rahu is placed in the 6th. So it's 2, 6, 7, 11. Okay, so Venus Rahu would have been about the matters of income, the matters of work, been workaholic, and then 7 and 11. Gains through spouse or partnership. Okay, then the last Tribhagi for this individual was the sign of Leo. This person, after doing so much of hard work and after being a leader, this person is going to relax in the last Tribhagi. They're going to enjoy the fruits of what they have done in Venus. The actual luxury of Venus, that is going to be when the Leo sign will come around. But you know what? This is going to align them spiritually as well. Venus is in the seventh, it rules the third and the 10th house that is coming into the seventh, and it also activates Rahu as a part of second house. They are going to spend a lot of expenditure would be there, and I feel that they would have taken debts in the previous Tribhagis, and they are going to also pay that off in this particular Tribhagi, in the last Tribhagi. And Leo is originally their second house, so it activates the second house highly. This time could be a little, overwhelming when it's about relationship. Partner can feel a bit distant because of their ambition. They are going to be more ambitious than this individual at this time. And this person, on the contrary, is going to become very sensitive about their home, about their life going around, because moon is in the fourth house and it is debilitated. But there can be some conflict with the mother, or mother can have health issues at that point in the last Tribhagi of Venus for this individual. Okay, this person has to be very careful with their digestion area and digestive system in the last Tribhagi also. They would want to be devoted towards the marriage, but they would encounter scenarios where they will be lured by other women, especially elder in age. If it's a male, if it's a female, then it's partners, guys or gents with the who are actually elder in age to her. I specifically don't know if that's it's him or her. Okay. But of course, this individual is going to have a lot of, learnings in this time. Learnings as in gathering a lot of knowledge, researching into astrology, researching into mythology, into other research works like medical, health, well-being. Okay. So that is what this person is going to experience in the three Tribhagis. Now, lastly, coming to the Ketu Tribhagi. For this individual, this person is going to start with the Ketu Mahadasha in 2028. And originally, their Ketu is in the 11th house in the sign of Taurus. Now, this Ketu is not the depressive one, first of all. This Ketu is rather quite ambitious, quite on the go with the career. It's about recognition. It's about unasked recognition. This person would hardly care about recognition in Ketu Mahadasha. They'll be like, you want to recognize me? It's all right. If you don't want to do it, I don't care. And if you do, it's fine by me. I'm not overwhelmed by it, or I'm not like, it's not that ground has gone away from my feet. That's what Ketu in the 11th house would do for them. Their sole focus is going to be about future stability, especially of finances. Ketu activates, it is in the nakshatra of Mrigashira, so it activates the placement of Mars. So Mars is the yoga karaka for this individual. That's why Ketu is one of the good mahadashas for this individual. So Ketu is going to activate the first house, the fifth house, the 11th house. This person is going to shift their career to something they are passionate about. And they are going to give a tight competition within that particular career. They are going to get recognized. But it could feel still, if they will be getting recognized, that could still feel very dissatisfactory to them, because that is not something they want. Ketu, although it runs headlessly towards things of the house, of that particular house, because it's like an endless hole in which you put a man. right? And he doesn't know where to go. But the the motive of Ketu, the unrecognized motive of Ketu is actually spirituality, the higher realization, self-realization, amendments of the past. This person might disconnect with usual friends, but will definitely make friends or will actually search for them, for the friends who can benefit him with his work life, and everything else. Okay, so for Ketu activates the fire signs, and it comes in, each Tribhagi comes in for 2 years and 4 months each. So for this individual, their moon is in the sign of Pisces. So first Tribhagi is Aries. First Tribhagi is actually the Ashwini Nakshatra. There could be travel. See, Mars is here. Moon, the fourth lord, goes into the 12th house. Travel overseas or long distance from where they are living right now or their homeland. That could be for the career, and the partner will go along with them. Right? Now, Ketu activates the second house, going away from the family, rejecting family's wealth and building their own. And since Saturn and Venus is in the 10th, they will get a lot of criticism for the decisions they'll make. But still, they will make it and they will achieve a long-term stability out of it. The second lord comes into the 10th house along with the 11th house. Excellent period for their career and finances. There could be very unasked expenditures also, but still it will be on the necessities, the expenditure that has to be done, because there's Ketu in the second, moon in the 12th. So that's why there could be that it could be the situation that there are no savings, but they will be able to fulfill their expenditures. Okay, then since it's Mrigashira, it also activates the first house, fourth house, and eighth house. So I told you, shift of residence, because 4 and 8 are getting activated and the first is also getting activated. So your physical self is moving away from the family, from the home. But there could be fights within the home environment because of your involvement too much towards the work. But whatever work you're going to do for these 2 years, starting from 2028, September, I think it's 2 years and 4 months, right? So it's almost like 2 years will be 2030, 9, and then 4. So January 2031 till Ketu, Mars. Yeah. So for this period, this person will have those fights because of work. There could be partnership with the partner in terms of work or business. Their intellect will come from connecting with a lot of people and connecting with partner. There can be sudden events because of Sun and Rahu in the 8th. Then next Tribhagi comes in, the Tribhagi of Leo. Magha. Lots of travels. See, Mars in the 12th house. Urge to have travels. These travels can affect the marriage life negatively. Partner can feel distant, because of which partner will have, very conflicting personality towards you. regular debates, regular arguments, and emotionally you will feel cold and absent. Although you'll try to communicate everything, but emotions would be somewhere absent. So emotionally, this time is not the best. Between 2031 till 2033 March. Okay. Then lastly, this person's, so for this, Ketu is going to activate their 10th house, one of the Artha houses again. And since Mars is in the 12th, again, overseas work from overseas or distant lands. And Mars rules the 4th house and the 9th house. Again, Yoga Karka of this particular Tribhagi works well. So there is a lot of foreign travels I see for work specifically, or even import export business. But it would lack stability. Okay. Then the last Tribhagi would be Sagittarius ascendant. Jupiter comes into the 10th and Moon in the 4th. Work and work and home. This person then will try to balance their work life and their home life, and also their concentration will have to be there towards the family and family members, because some family member could there could be a situation where they would have to take care of a family member, especially with the health, and there could be a lot of expenditure over health, anyone else's money and health. They would feel homesick, so would want to be near home and mother. Partner indeed would be very much towards career and financial gains and monetary gains and in balancing income and money, assets. Why? Seventh Lord goes into the 11th house, and Venus will come second from this Tribhagi. Ketu will activate the 6th house. With Mars, it will activate 5th, 8th, 12th. Whenever 5th, 8th, and 12th, or 5th, 6th, 8th, and 12th gets activated all together, this such a person loses their intelligence. They make stupid decisions. So this person has to be very careful with their decisions and with their actions in the last part of Ketu Mahadasha, because that can actually make them lose what they have. Okay. So guys, that was my analysis about the Tribhagis. So we have discussed Moon, we have discussed Jupiter, we have also discussed Ketu, Rahu, and Venus. I actually wanted to discuss Saturn. I didn't want to cover all of them because covering all the planets would be another headache, right? But yes, if any particular person, wants, is going through a problem, or you want me to actually give that analysis for Tribhagi. And if any one of you is going through Saturn's Mahadasha, then I would love to make another video for Saturn and Mars, because I think we are left with Saturn, Mars, and Mercury. So I'll try if I could do that, because for the whomsoever gave me their details for Tribhagi analysis, I didn't find anyone with the proper Mercury going on or proper Mars or Saturn going on. So if you guys, any one of you is going through that mahadasha and want me to do the Tribhagi analysis in the video, then you can comment below. Okay, so guys, if you guys are new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and share. And if you want to get your personal reading about Tribhagi, you can check out the unique reading section at the link below, www.anmollastrology.com. And if you want to consult about anything else, you can go under the reading section. Okay, guys, see you next time. Bye bye. Take care.